Have you ever paused in the midst of a heated exchange with your daughter or your mother, feeling that sharp sting of conflict, and wondered why a relationship so profoundly rooted in love can simultaneously feel so incredibly challenging? Why do certain words cut deeper than they should? Why do misunderstandings loop in endless cycles? Or why does that intimate closeness sometimes weigh like an invisible burden on your heart? These moments, though painful, are not mere accidents of human emotion. Through the profound spiritual teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, often lovingly referred to as Yogananda, we gain a transformative lens to view these dynamics. He illuminated that the bond between a mother and a daughter is far from random. It is intricately woven from the threads of karma, deliberate soul choices, and sacred agreements forged in realms beyond our physical existence, long before our souls incarnated into these bodies. Imagine, for a moment, the vast tapestry of the universe, where souls reside in a state of pure consciousness before birth. In that ethereal space, connections are not formed by chance or biology alone, but by a divine orchestration. You didn't simply become a mother or a daughter through happenstance or genetic lottery. No, something infinitely deeper was at play, a cosmic blueprint, a soul-level plan meticulously unfolding across lifetimes. When we shift our perspective to recognize this bond as not merely emotional or biological, but profoundly karmic and spiritual, a profound alchemy begins. Suddenly, the friction that once seemed like a personal failing transforms into something purposeful. It might not be a breakdown at all. It could be precisely the catalyst your souls mutually agreed upon to confront, heal, and evolve together. In the ancient wisdom of yoga, as expounded by Yogananda in his seminal works, like Autobiography of a Yogi, the soul selects its familial ties not through rational calculation, but through vibrational resonance. It's a magnetic pull, drawn from unresolved energies, lingering lessons from past incarnations, and profound yearnings for spiritual advancement. A daughter might choose a particular mother not because she embodies flawless perfection, but because her very essence stirs dormant wounds that crave resolution and healing. Conversely, the mother welcomes a child whose presence awakens forgotten facets of her own being, both the shadowed pains and the radiant strengths she may have suppressed. This hidden contract, as we might call it, speaks to a pre-birth covenant where souls, in their higher wisdom, declare, "Let us reunite in this lifetime. Let us journey together toward growth, even if the path is strewn with trials and tribulations." Viewing life through this karmic prism reframes what we perceive as relational strife. What once appeared as irreparable conflict or emotional discord begins to reveal itself as a sacred invitation to purpose. The pain isn't arbitrary punishment. It's imbued with profound meaning. The recurring challenges serve as cosmic signposts, guiding us toward deeper self-awareness and mutual understanding. Gradually, as we embrace this viewpoint, a subtle yet powerful harmony starts to blossom, replacing discord with a sense of aligned destiny. Yet, here's a crucial insight that many overlook in their quest for a relational peace. Soul contracts are seldom designed for perpetual serenity. They are inherently intense, often turbulent, because the soul's primary agenda isn't comfort or ease, it's exponential growth. True evolution demands stretching beyond our comfort zones, confronting the edges of our being where transformation ignites. As a daughter, you may find yourself inheriting not just your mother's physical traits or behavioral habits through nurture, but also her deeper karmic imprints, her unspoken fears, her pervasive anxieties. her patterns of emotional silence. These aren't mere coincidences. They are vibrational echoes carried forward from shared past experiences. Similarly, as a mother, your daughter's arrival might unexpectedly trigger long-buried aspects of your psyche emotions you believed were resolved, vulnerabilities you thought safely entombed in the past. This mirroring effect isn't a form of cosmic cruelty. It's a divine reflection mechanism. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, holds up this relational mirror so that what lies concealed in the shadows of our subconscious can finally emerge into the light of awareness. What if your child's behaviors, words, or even silences are not meant to provoke, but to illuminate your own unhealed narratives? And what if your mother's imperfections, her moments of distance, criticism, or overprotectiveness stem from pains she inherited from her own lineage, wounds she couldn't yet articulate or resolve? Approaching these intricate dynamics with compassion rather than judgment or blame initiates a profound shift. Yogananda emphasized that negative emotions exchanged between souls generate a binding energetic force, a karmic glue that perpetuates cycles across generations. If a mother harbors unresolved resentment toward her own mother, perhaps from feelings of abandonment, unmet needs, or unexpressed grief, that dense energy doesn't dissipate into the ether. Instead, it subtly infuses the next relational layer, where the daughter unconsciously begins to mirror or amplify those same patterns. This isn't an inescapable fate doled out by a punitive universe. It's a golden opportunity disguised as adversity, a karmic thread yearning to be gently unraveled rather than knotted tighter through repeated reactivity. Every instance of conflict, every flare-up of tension becomes a pivotal choice point, not to dominate or win the argument, but to alchemize it into transformation. As the daughter, you can cultivate the grace to forgive wounds you never inflicted, releasing the inherited burdens with empathy. As the mother, you can nurture the tender parts of yourself that once felt invisible or invalidated, extending that same tenderness outward. Together, in this sacred dance, you both liberate energies neither of you originated, but both have shouldered, breaking free from the chains of ancestral echoes. It's no coincidence that mother-daughter relationships often simmer with the most potent emotional charge among all familial bonds. This intensity arises because the connection is ancient, spanning multiple lifetimes in various forms. In one incarnation, the roles might reverse. The daughter of today could have been the nurturing mother in a previous era. In another, you may have shared lives as siblings, confidants, or even rivals locked in lessons of reconciliation. Karma, that impartial law of cause and effect, orbits souls back into proximity until equilibrium is restored, until peace supplants discord. Achieving this harmony demands authenticity over pretense. It requires confronting the resonant echoes that surface in daily interactions and consciously choosing altered responses. Your reactions hold immense power in this process. Each time you opt for a mindful pause instead of an impulsive retort, for softening your heart rather than fortifying defenses, you subtly recalibrate the vibrational frequency of your karmic bond. Over time, with consistent intention, the once taut thread begins to loosen, allowing space for ease and flow. But what of those seemingly insurmountable chasms when the emotional gulf feels vast, the scars etched too deeply, the historical weight crushing? Yogananda frequently invoked the transcendent power of grace, reminding us that beyond the mechanics of karma and its cause and effect ledger exists the boundless, compassionate embrace of the Divine Mother. She represents the nurturing, forgiving aspect of the divine God in feminine form who dissolves barriers instantaneously, loves without condition, and heals wounds that defy rational explanation. In the sacred arena of the mother-daughter bond, this divine energy can be channeled as a healing balm. By inviting it through practices like heartfelt prayer, meditative devotion, or even a single, intentional breath of surrender, you unlock assistance that transcends intellectual comprehension. Perfection isn't the prerequisite, willingness is. Be open to illuminating the silences with gentle light, to perceiving not just the flawed human before you, but the eternal soul inhabiting that form. This shift in perception fosters profound connection. One of the most accessible and potent tools from Yogananda's yogic repertoire is the Peace and Harmony Prayer, a deceptively simple yet extraordinarily effective practice for mending relational rifts. If discord brews between you and your mother or daughter, find a quiet moment, close your eyes, and draw in slow, deep breaths to center yourself. Visualize the other person enveloped in a radiant golden light, symbolizing divine protection and purity. Then, with sincere focus, mentally affirm, Lord, fill her with peace and harmony. Peace and harmony, peace and harmony. Sustain this visualization and repetition for at least a full minute, allowing the words to resonate like a soothing mantra. Next, turn the light inward upon yourself, repeating, Lord, fill me with peace and harmony, peace and harmony, peace and harmony. This humble ritual doesn't demand elaborate setups or esoteric knowledge. Its power lies in its purity and consistency. It operates on subtle, energetic levels, dissolving invisible barriers of resentment or misunderstanding without coercion. Change isn't forced upon the other. It's invited through the gentle vibration of loving intention, much like the morning sun gradually thawing a frost-covered meadow. When practiced regularly, perhaps daily, or during moments of heightened emotion, even the most entrenched patterns begin to yield. Rigid hearts soften, not necessarily in dramatic overhauls, but in subtle evolutions. A conversation flows more openly. A gaze carries warmth instead of wariness. A once cutting remark transforms into thoughtful dialogue. The karmic momentum shifts, pivoting from repetition of old wounds toward fresh trajectories of mutual respect and understanding. Of course, misunderstandings may still arise. Life's complexities don't vanish overnight. Yet, you'll approach them from an elevated vantage, a calmer inner sanctuary where reactivity gives way to responsiveness. From this grounded space, authentic forgiveness can take root, extending not only to the other, but crucially to yourself. Yogananda profoundly stated that forgiveness wields greater transformative power than any act of revenge or retribution. In the context of mother-daughter healing, this principle assumes a sacred dimension. Forgiveness isn't about glossing over hurts, denying their validity. It's a conscious choice to prioritize love over lingering resentment, to acknowledge that both parties are imperfect souls navigating the school of life, still unraveling karmic knots from eons past. By forgiving, you disrupt the narrative's continuity, halting the perpetuation of pain and carving out fertile ground for novel stories to unfold tales woven with kindness, liberation, and joy. Remember, you are not isolated in this endeavor. Countless women across cultures and generations bear the subtle weight of intergenerational sorrows, unspoken griefs passed like heirlooms through maternal lines. But herein lies the beacon of hope. You needn't shoulder the entirety of this burden alone. Healing commences with the smallest steps, one mindful breath, one whispered prayer, one act of quiet reflection. Even in solitude, directing thoughts of peace toward your mother or daughter initiates the alchemical process. Remarkably, transformation doesn't hinge on the other's reciprocity. Your internal shifts suffice. As your energy field clears and elevates, your soul expands, radiating ripples that subtly influence the relational dynamic. Often, the most potent healings unfold in whispers, rather than thunderclaps, not through sweeping apologies or cinematic reconciliations, but via incremental inner adjustments. Consider the instant you select patience over sarcasm. Truly listen without the urge to interject or correct, or extend a compassionate word where withdrawal once prevailed. These micro-choices plant seeds of benevolent new karma, germinating into enduring peace. Their significance reverberates far beyond the immediate moment, reshaping the relational landscape. As these seeds take root, the once overwhelming friction eases into manageable contours. You commence viewing your daughter or mother not as a source of perpetual challenge, but as a cherished ally on your spiritual odyssey. Beneath the layers of roles, expectations, and accumulated wounds lies an abiding love, a primordial force so resilient that it elected to reincarnate, to re-engage, to pursue healing anew. In acknowledging this eternal essence, you reclaim your innate sovereignty, not the illusion of control over others, but the authentic power to love discerningly, forgive expansively, and advance with unwavering compassion. And delve deeper into this revelation. Each stride you make in mending this bond extends blessings beyond your personal sphere. It reverberates through your ancestral lineage, lightening the load for descendants yet unborn. The patterns of pain they might otherwise inherit dissolve, replaced by an inheritance of serenity and strength. When a single soul resolves to shatter the cycle of suffering, the entire familial constellation inhales a collective breath of relief, awakening to new possibilities. This is the genesis of generational healing, not in ostentatious displays, but in the sanctity of private, intentional decisions made from the heart. So, if you've grappled with strife in this profound connection, take solace. You are not stumbling in failure, but stirring in awakening. The soul contract binding mother and daughter transcends the pursuit of flawlessness. It's a vehicle for profound evolution. It's about peering beyond superficial appearances to discern the divine reflections in one another mirrors that reveal our highest potentials alongside our deepest shadows. When this recognition dawns fully, the bond undergoes metamorphosis, evolving from a battleground of egos into a sanctuary of souls. Ultimately, veiled behind every acerbic exchange, every tangled misunderstanding, every echoing silence, persists an unyielding love. This love yearns to be rediscovered, beheld afresh not through the distorting lens of accumulated hurts, but through the clarifying grace of spiritual insight. For your daughter is more than your offspring, your mother more than your progenitor. You embody each other's mentors, reflective surfaces, and, in the most hallowed sense, mutual healers on the path to enlightenment. Thank you deeply for joining in this contemplative exploration today. If these reflections have resonated within your spirit, stirring echoes of your own experiences, I warmly encourage you to remain engaged. Subscribe to Divine Beyond for ongoing weekly insights and guidance tailored to illuminate your spiritual journey. If this message has offered solace or sparked inspiration, consider gently liking this content to help it extend its reach to fellow travelers navigating similar paths of relational and soulful growth. And should you feel inclined, share your personal revelations in the comments below. What profound lesson has the intricate dance of your mother-daughter bond imparted upon you thus far? Through shared reflections, we foster collective wisdom. Through openness, we evolve in unity. Namaste. Now, to expand further and reach the desired length, let's delve into practical examples and additional yogic practices that complement Yogananda's teachings. For instance, consider incorporating daily meditation focused on the heart chakra, anahata, which governs love and compassion. Visualize a green light emanating from your chest, enveloping both you and your relational counterpart, dissolving barriers like mist under sunlight. This practice, drawn from Kriya Yoga principles, enhances emotional resilience. Moreover, explore the concept of samskara's subtle impressions from past actions that influence current behaviors. In mother-daughter dynamics, these samskaras often manifest as recurring arguments over independence versus protection, echoing unresolved issues from prior lives. By journaling about these patterns, you bring them to conscious awareness, weakening their hold. Another layer, Yogananda's emphasis on ahimsa, non-violence, extends to verbal and emotional realms. Practice mindful speech before responding in conflict. Ask, is this true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? This simple filter transforms interactions, fostering empathy. Let's illustrate with a hypothetical scenario. A daughter feels perpetually criticized by her mother for career choices. Through karmic lens, this might stem from a past life where roles reversed and the daughter, as mother, imposed strict expectations. Recognizing this, the daughter can respond with, "I appreciate your concern. It comes from love, shifting energy from defense to connection." For mothers, if your daughter triggers feelings of inadequacy, reflect on your own maternal upbringing. Perhaps it's a mirror to heal self-worth issues. Engage in affirmations like, "I am worthy as I am, and so is she." Building on the peace and harmony prayer, integrate pranayama breath control. Try alternate nostril breathing, nadi shodhana, before interactions to balance energies, promoting calm dialogue. Yogananda also advocated service, seva, as karma yoga. Perform acts of kindness without expectation, like preparing a favorite meal or sending a thoughtful note to accumulate positive karma. In terms of past lives, regression therapy or intuitive meditation can offer glimpses. But Yogananda cautioned focus on present actions over speculation. For deeper wounds, seek community, join women's circles or spiritual groups discussing generational healing. Books like The Divine Romance by Yogananda provide further insights. Remember, healing is non-linear. Setbacks are part of growth. Celebrate small victories like a harmonious conversation. Extending to cultural contexts in Eastern traditions, the mother-daughter bond symbolizes Shakti, the divine feminine energy. Honoring this empowers both